20 years of marriage, and my wife decides to celebrate by asking for a hall pass. Nothing says happy anniversary, quite like your spouse suggesting you both sleep with other people for the weekend. I'm Tom Rourke, union electrician, dad joke enthusiast, and apparently the most boring husband in suburban Cleveland. It's just for exploration, Tommy, Melody says, twirling her wine glass like she's discussing weekend plans. Derek's in town for that tech conference, and we never got proper closure. Derek Shaw. The name alone makes my jaw clench. Her college boyfriend who dumped her for a sorority girl, then crawled back when his startup went public. Now he drives a Porsche and wears those ridiculous designer sneakers that cost more than my monthly truck payment. Closure, I repeat, setting down my beer. That's what we're calling it? Melody's friends giggle from the kitchen island. Gina from HR and Trish, the party girl who never grew up. They're on their third bottle of wine, whispering like teenagers at a sleepover. Oh my God, Mel, Gina stage whispers. Remember how Derek used to? Gina. Melody cuts her off, but she's laughing. Trish leans in conspiratorially. I saw his Instagram. He's still got those shoulders. My stomach turns. These are the women my wife considers her closest friends. The same ones who roll their eyes when I tell my electrician jokes at dinner parties. The ones who think I'm just some blue-collar guy who got lucky. Think about it, Tommy, Melody continues, her voice taking on that patronizing tone she uses when explaining her job to me. We've been together since we were kids. Don't you wonder what else is out there? Actually, no, I don't wonder. I wake up every morning grateful I found someone who laughed at my terrible puns and didn't mind that I came home with dirt under my fingernails. At least, I thought she didn't mind. I need to use the bathroom, I announce, standing up. The hallway feels longer than usual as I walk toward our bedroom. Through the thin walls, I can hear Melody's voice drop to a whisper, followed by more giggles. I pause outside the bathroom door when I hear my name. Tommy's sweet, but he's so predictable, Melody says. Derek texted me this afternoon. He wants to take me to that new rooftop place downtown. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. My hand freezes on the doorknob. The one with the champagne bar? Trish squeals. Girl, you better wear that black dress. I already picked it out, Melody admits, and the matching lingerie. The words hit me like a live wire. 20 years, 2 kids in college, a mortgage we've been chipping away at together, and she's already planning her outfit for another man. I slip into the bathroom and close the door quietly. My reflection stares back from the mirror. 42 years old, graying temples, laugh lines around my eyes. When did I become invisible to my own wife? My phone buzzes, a text notification. But it's not my phone. It's Melody's, sitting on the bathroom counter where she left it while doing her makeup earlier. The screen lights up with a preview. Derek Shaw. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night. It's been too long since we... The message cuts off, but there's a photo attachment. My finger hovers over the screen. I shouldn't look. I know I shouldn't look, but I do. The image makes my chest tighten. It's Derek, shirtless, standing in what looks like a hotel room. The caption reads, "Getting ready for our reunion." Without thinking, I screenshot the message. The evidence saves to Melody's photo gallery with a soft click. Then I set the phone back exactly where I found it and stare at myself in the mirror again. Think about it, Tommy, I whisper to my reflection, mimicking my wife's voice. Sure thing, honey. I'll think about it real hard. When I return to the living room, the conversation stops abruptly. 3 guilty faces turn toward me, wine glasses frozen halfway to lips. Everything okay? Melody asks, her voice artificially bright. Perfect, I say, grabbing my beer. Just perfect. The rest of the evening passes in a blur of forced conversation and nervous laughter. Gina and Trish leave around 10, hugging Melody goodbye with exaggerated enthusiasm. They barely acknowledge me, which is nothing new. As I'm loading the dishwasher, Melody wraps her arms around my waist from behind. So, she murmurs into my neck, have you thought about what I said? I continue rinsing plates, watching the water swirl down the drain. Yeah, I've thought about it. And? I turn in her arms, studying her face. She's still beautiful, the same green eyes that caught my attention at that college party 23 years ago. But there's something different now, something calculating. I think, I say slowly, that this weekend is going to be very interesting. She smiles and kisses my cheek. I love you, Tommy. You know that, right? Sure, I reply. I know exactly what you love. After she goes to bed, I sit in my workshop in the garage, surrounded by the tools of my trade. Wire strippers, voltage testers, cable pullers, instruments of precision and problem solving. Every electrical job starts the same way. Identify the problem, trace the connections, and fix what's broken. My marriage has a short circuit somewhere. Time to do some diagnostic work. I pull out my own phone and start scrolling through our shared phone plan details. Amazing what you can access when you're the primary account holder. Call logs, text message timestamps, data usage patterns. All perfectly legal information about my own family plan. The pattern becomes clear quickly. For the past 3 weeks, Melody's been texting Derek every day, sometimes for hours. The data usage spikes correspond perfectly with their conversation times. But that's not the most interesting part. The most interesting part is that Derek's been in Cleveland for 2 weeks, not just for a conference. He's been staying at the Marriott downtown, and according to his very public Instagram account, he's been posting photos from local restaurants and bars. Places Melody claimed she was going for girls' nights with Gina and Trish. I lean back in my workshop chair and crack open another beer. My wife thinks I'm predictable. She's about to learn just how wrong she is. Monday morning arrives gray and cold. Typical Cleveland weather that matches my mood perfectly. I'm up at 5:30, same as always, making coffee and checking the day's work orders. Melody sleeps until 7, then spends an hour getting ready for her job as HR director at TechFlow Solutions. Big day today, she announces, applying lipstick in the hallway mirror. We're finalizing the diversity initiative presentation. Sounds important, I reply, not looking up from my newspaper. She kisses the top of my head, and I catch a whiff of expensive perfume. The same perfume she wore on our first anniversary. Interesting choice for a Monday at the office. At the job site, I'm rewiring an office building downtown with my crew. Big Mike Kowalski, my partner for the past 8 years, notices my mood immediately. You look like someone poured sugar in your gas tank, he observes, threading cable through a junction box. Wife wants to spice up our marriage, I tell him. Yeah? What kind of spice we talking about? Like cooking class spice, or the kind where she sleeps with her ex-boyfriend this weekend? Mike's drill stops mid-rotation. Come again? I explain the situation while we work. Mike listens with the kind of attention he usually reserves for complex electrical schematics. So, let me get this straight, he says finally. She wants a hall pass to bang her ex, but you're supposed to be cool with it because it's exploration. That's the general idea. And what happens if you say no? Then I'm controlling and insecure. Mike shakes his head. Brother, you need to document everything. I went through a nasty divorce 5 years ago, remember? Paper trail is everything. He's right. During lunch break, I drive to the Marriott downtown. The hotel bar is busy with the usual business crowd, but I spot Rico Martinez behind the counter. We went to high school together, and he's been slinging drinks at upscale hotels for 20 years. Tommy Rourke, Rico grins, extending his hand. What brings you to the fancy part of town? Research project, I say, sliding onto a bar stool. You got a guest here named Derek Shaw? Rico's expression shifts slightly. Maybe. Why? He's been texting my wife. A lot. Understanding dawns in Rico's eyes. Ah, man, that's rough. Yeah, he's here. Room 1247. Been ordering room service for 2 most nights, if you know what I mean. Any chance you could accidentally let me see some of those receipts? Rico glances around, then reaches under the bar. Accidentally? Sure. I accidentally drop things all the time. A few receipts flutter to the floor. I accidentally pick them up. Champagne, strawberries, 2 entrees every night for the past week. One receipt has a handwritten note attached. Thanks for the amazing evening. Can't wait for tomorrow. M. Melody's handwriting. Appreciate the accident, I tell Rico, palming him a 20. Anytime, brother. And Tommy? Document everything. Back at the job site, Mike and I finish the day's work while I plan my next move. The beautiful thing about being an electrician is that you learn to think systematically. Every circuit has a logical flow, every problem has a solution, and every system can be rewired if you understand the connections. My marriage is just another system that needs rewiring. That evening, Melody works late at the office, or at least that's what her text message says. I use the time to do more research, legally and carefully. Our home computer has a shared photo backup service, which means Melody's screenshots automatically sync to our family account. The folder is a goldmine. Screenshots of Derek's messages going back 3 weeks, photos he sent her, including several I definitely don't want to see. But the most interesting items are the screenshots of their planning conversations. Tommy's working late tomorrow, one message reads. Perfect opportunity for dinner. He's so clueless, Derek responds. Does he even suspect? Tommy? Please. He thinks I'm at book club. Book club. She told me she joined a book club last month. I even bought her a copy of the monthly selection, which is still sitting unopened on her nightstand. The front door opens around 9:30. Melody walks in looking slightly disheveled, her lipstick gone, and her hair mussed. "How was work?" I ask from the couch. "Exhausting," she sighs, kicking off her heels. Karen had us working on the presentation until almost 10. Karen Wan, her boss, a woman I've met at company parties who strikes me as the type who goes home at exactly 5 o'clock every day and hasn't worked past 6 in her entire career. "That's dedication," I say. Melody disappears into the bedroom to change. Her phone buzzes on the coffee table where she left it. Another message from Derek. "Thanks for tonight. Tomorrow can't come fast enough." I screenshot it with my own phone, then sit back and wait. When Melody returns in her pajamas, she curls up next to me on the couch. "So," she says casually, "I was thinking about our conversation yesterday." "Which part?" "The exploration part. I know it seems sudden, but Derek's only in town for a few more days." "Right, the conference." "Exactly." She traces patterns on my chest with her finger. "And I was thinking, maybe you could explore too. There's that new secretary at your union office. What's her name? Jessica?" Jessica Rodriguez is 24 and married to a Marine, but the fact that Melody even knows about her tells me she's been planning this conversation. "I'll think about it," I say. "Really?" Her face lights up. "Oh, Tommy, this could be so good for us. Like a reset button." "A reset button? That's one way to describe it." The next morning, Melody spends extra time getting ready. The black dress makes an appearance, along with the matching lingerie I accidentally glimpsed in the laundry basket. She's practically glowing with anticipation. "Working late again tonight?" I ask over coffee. "Probably. You know how these projects go." "Sure do." After she leaves, I make a phone call to TechFlow Solutions. Karen Wan's office, her assistant answers. "Hi, this is Tom Rourke, Melody's husband. I wanted to surprise her with lunch today, but I wasn't sure if she'd be free during her presentation." "Presentation? I don't have anything on Ms. Wan's calendar today. She's actually out of the office until Thursday." "Oh," I say. "Must have misunderstood. Thanks anyway." I hang up and smile. The circuit is becoming clearer. At work, Mike notices my improved mood immediately. "You look like a man with a plan," he observes. "Just doing some system diagnostics," I reply. "Found the problem. Now I'm working on the solution." "Need any help with the installation?" I consider this. Mike's been through his own marital disaster, and he's got a vindictive streak that might come in handy. "Actually," I say, "I might have a job for you this weekend." "What kind of job?" "The kind where we make sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve." Mike grins. "Brother, I thought you'd never ask." Friday morning arrives with the kind of crisp autumn air that makes everything feel possible. Melody practically bounces out of bed, humming while she showers. Through the bathroom door, I can hear her talking to herself, practicing conversations. "Oh, Derek, it's been so long," she rehearses in a breathy voice that makes my stomach turn. I'm in the kitchen making breakfast when her phone buzzes with a group text. The preview shows it's from Gina, but it's addressed to The Revenge Squad, apparently their group chat name. "Tonight's the night, girls. Mel's finally getting her groove back." Trish responds immediately. "Get it, girl. Tommy will never know what hit him." Then Gina again. "Derek's probably been dreaming about this for 20 years. Lucky bastard." My finger hovers over the phone screen. I shouldn't read more, but then again, my wife shouldn't be planning to cheat on me either. I scroll up through their conversation history. 3 weeks of messages, all plotting behind my back. Discussions about the best hotels, advice on lingerie, even a conversation about what to tell me if I get suspicious. "Just tell him you're having a girls' night," Trish suggests in one message. "Men never question girls' night." "Tommy's not that stupid," Melody responds. "Honey, he's an electrician," Gina replies. "He fixes things and watches sports. He's not exactly Sherlock Holmes." The casual dismissal stings more than I expected. I screenshot the entire conversation thread, then set the phone back exactly where Melody left it. When she comes downstairs, she's wearing her power outfit, a red blazer and a black skirt that she reserves for important meetings. "Big day at the office?" I ask. "Huge," she says, not meeting my eyes. "That presentation is finally happening." "The one Karen's been working you so hard on?" "Exactly." I nod sympathetically. "Well, knock 'em out, honey." She kisses my cheek, and I catch that expensive perfume again. The same scent that's been lingering on her clothes for weeks. After she leaves, I call Mike. "Operation Rewire is a go," I tell him. What do you need? Remember your ex-wife's cousin, the one who works in social media marketing? Angela? Yeah, she's good people. Why? I need someone who understands how to make things go viral. Mike chuckles. Brother, you're speaking my language. At the job site, I spend the morning finishing up the office building project while my mind works through the plan. Every good electrical job requires perfect timing. Connect the wrong wires too early, and you blow a fuse. Wait too long, and the whole system fails. Around noon, I drive to TechFlow Solutions. The building is a gleaming glass monument to corporate success, the kind of place where they serve kombucha in the break room and everyone has standing desks. I know Melody's schedule by heart. Fridays at 12:30, the entire HR department has their weekly all-hands meeting. Melody's mentioned it 1,000 times. How boring it is. How Karen drones on about policy updates. How everyone just wants to get to the weekend. Perfect. I park across the street and pull out my phone. The screenshots from Melody's group chat are organized in a folder, along with Derek's shirtless photos and their explicit message exchanges. Everything time-stamped, everything authentic. Angela Martinez, Mike's ex-sister-in-law and social media expert, has been coaching me all morning on the technical details. AirDrop, she explained, is beautiful in its simplicity. Turn on your phone's hotspot, make sure AirDrop is set to everyone, and you can send files to any iPhone within 30 feet. The best part, Angela told me, is that people almost always accept the files before they see what they are. Human curiosity. At 12:25, I walk into the TechFlow lobby. The security guard barely glances at me. I'm wearing my work clothes and carrying a toolbox, just another contractor in a building full of contractors. Electrical inspection, I tell the receptionist, flashing my union ID. Won't take long. She waves me through without a second look. The HR department is on the 3rd floor. I take the elevator up and find a supply closet directly across from their conference room. Through the glass walls, I can see the meeting in progress. Melody sits at the long table next to her boss, Karen, both of them looking attentively at a PowerPoint presentation about workplace harassment policies. The irony is not lost on me. I open my phone's AirDrop settings and select everyone. Then I choose the most damning screenshots. The ones where Derek brags about stealing Melody back. The ones where she mocks her clueless husband, the ones with explicit photos attached. 18 phones appear on my AirDrop list. I select them all and hit send. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, like dominoes falling, phones around the conference table start buzzing. One person looks down, then another. Someone gasps. Karen's face goes pale as she stares at her screen. "What the hell?" someone whispers. Melody looks confused until her own phone buzzes. She glances down, and the color drains from her face completely. "Oh, God," she breathes. Karen stands up slowly, her phone in her hand. "Melody, would you care to explain why I just received explicit messages between you and Derek Shaw?" The room erupts. Voices overlap as people compare what they've received. Someone says, "Is this the same Derek Shaw from the conference?" Another person asks, "Isn't Melody married?" Melody looks around the room desperately. "I can explain." "You called your husband clueless," Karen reads from her phone. "You said he's just an electrician, like that's something to be ashamed of." "And look at this photo," someone else chimes in. "Jesus, Melody." I watch through the glass as my wife's carefully constructed professional image crumbles in real time. She tries to speak, but the voices grow louder. Karen holds up her hand for silence. "Everyone out," Karen says coldly. "Except Melody." The conference room empties quickly. Through the glass, I can see Karen speaking in sharp, angry tones while Melody sits with her head in her hands. My phone buzzes with a text from Angela. "Phase 2 ready when you are." I slip back into the elevator and head for the lobby. By the time I reach my truck, my phone is already lighting up with notifications. Angela works fast. "Cleveland Wives Gone Wild," reads the Facebook group she created. The screenshots are already posted, along with a caption that reads, "Local HR Director Melody Rourke thinks her electrician husband is too clueless to notice her affair. What do you think, Cleveland?" The comments start immediately. "Girl, your husband deserves better. Electricians make good money and work hard. You're an idiot. Derek Shaw looks like a discount Ryan Gosling. Someone should tell her husband. I know Tom Rourke. He's a good guy. This is messed up." Within an hour, the post has been shared 300 times. Angela's network of social media friends spreads it across multiple platforms, each share adding new comments and reactions. My phone rings. It's Rico from the hotel. "Tommy, you need to see this," he says. Your boy Derek just came down to the bar looking like someone stole his car. He's been on his phone for 20 minutes, getting more agitated by the minute. What's he saying? Something about damage control and lawyers. But here's the thing, his wife just walked in. His wife? Simone Shaw. I recognize her from the society pages. She does not look happy. I drive downtown and park where I can see the hotel entrance. Through the lobby windows, I spot Derek at the bar, hunched over his phone with his head in his hands. A tall, elegant woman in an expensive coat stands behind him, her arms crossed. Even from a distance, I can see she's furious. My phone buzzes with another Facebook notification. The post now has over 1,000 shares. Someone has created a meme using Derek's shirtless photo with the caption, "When you think you're smooth, but you're actually a home wrecker." Another text from Rico. She just threw her drink at him. Hotel security's getting involved. Perfect timing. I drive home and wait. At 4:30, Melody's car pulls into the driveway. She sits in the driver's seat for several minutes before finally coming inside. Her eyes are red and puffy, her makeup smeared. The confident woman who left this morning has been replaced by someone who looks utterly defeated. "Tommy," she starts, but I hold up my hand. "Rough day at the office?" I ask. She stares at me for a long moment. "You know?" "I know a lot of things, Mel. Like how Karen's out of town until Thursday. How Derek's been in Cleveland for 2 weeks, not just for a conference. How your book club doesn't actually exist." She sinks onto the couch. "How long have you known? Does it matter?" "I'm suspended," she whispers. "Pending investigation." Karen says I violated the company's moral conduct policy. Moral conduct, I repeat. Imagine that. The whole internet has seen those messages. My mother called me crying. Your sister called to ask if it was true. Everyone knows, Tommy, everyone. I sit down across from her, studying her face. How does it feel? What? Being exposed. Having everyone see who you really are. Fresh tears start flowing. I never meant for this to happen. You never meant to get caught. She looks up at me with something like hope. Can we fix this? Can we work through it? I lean back in my chair. That depends. On what? On whether you're ready to tell me the whole truth. Because, Mel, I've got a feeling there's more to this story than just an affair. Her face goes pale again, and I know I'm right. There's another layer to this, something deeper than just rekindling an old flame. What else aren't you telling me? I ask. She opens her mouth, then closes it, then opens it again. Derek and I, we had a plan. What kind of plan? To get you out of the house, permanently. The words hang in the air between us like a live wire, crackling with danger. Keep talking, I say quietly. The confession comes out in pieces, like pulling wire through a damaged conduit. Melody sits on our couch, the same couch where we used to watch movies together, where she used to curl up next to me during thunderstorms, and tells me how she planned to destroy my life. Derek said it would be easy, she whispers, not meeting my eyes. He has lawyer friends. They know how to make these things work. What things? Domestic violence charges. The words hit me like touching a live wire with wet hands. For a moment, I can't breathe. You were going to frame me? Not frame, exactly. More like create a situation where you'd lose your temper, and then what, Mel? Have me arrested? Take the house? Clean out our accounts? She nods miserably. Derek said you'd probably get anger management classes and probation. Nothing too serious. Nothing too serious. I stand up and walk to the window, looking out at the neighborhood where we've lived for 15 years. Just destroy my reputation, my career, my relationship with our kids. The kids would understand eventually. The kids? I turn back to face her. You were going to tell our children that their father hits women? Derek said, Stop. My voice comes out harder than I intended. Stop telling me what Derek said. Tell me what you thought, what you wanted. She's quiet for a long moment. When she speaks again, her voice is barely audible. I wanted out, Tommy. I wanted Derek's life. The money, the travel, the excitement. I wanted to feel young again. So why not just ask for a divorce? Because then I'd only get half of everything. This way, with a domestic violence conviction, I could get the house, alimony, maybe even your pension. I stare at my wife of 20 years, this woman I thought I knew better than anyone, and realize I'm looking at a stranger. How long have you been planning this? Since Derek first contacted me, about 6 months ago. 6 months. While I was working overtime to pay for our daughter's college expenses, while I was planning our anniversary dinner, while I was being the clueless husband who brought her coffee in bed every morning. The open relationship thing was just the setup? She nods. Derek said if we could document that you were unstable, jealous, controlling, it would make the domestic violence charges more believable. And your friends knew? Gina and Trish thought it was just about the affair, but Derek's been coaching me on how to provoke you, how to push your buttons until you snapped. I think about all the little arguments over the past few months, the way she'd needle me about my job, my clothes, my hobbies, the way she'd flirt with other men right in front of me, then act surprised when I got uncomfortable. You've been trying to make me angry. Derek said most men can't handle their wives being with other people. He said you'd probably get physical within a week. But I didn't. No, she admits. You didn't. Derek was getting frustrated. He said we needed to escalate. Escalate how? She doesn't answer, but she doesn't need to. I can see it in her face. You were going to stage it, I realize. Fake an assault. Derek has photos of bruises, professional makeup. He said, Jesus Christ, Melody. I walk to the kitchen and pour myself a glass of water, trying to process what I've just learned. My wife wasn't just cheating on me. She was actively plotting to frame me for domestic violence, destroy my reputation, and steal everything I've worked for. And the most twisted part? She almost succeeded. My phone buzzes with a text from Mike. You need to see this. Derek's at Murphy's bar, 3 sheets to the wind and talking loud. Murphy's is the dive bar where all the union guys hang out after work. If Derek's there, he's either very brave or very stupid. I have to go, I tell Melody. Where? To finish what you started. Murphy's bar smells like stale beer and fried food, with a jukebox that's been playing the same Springsteen songs since 1987. It's not the kind of place where tech executives usually drink, which makes Derek Shaw stand out like a peacock in a chicken coop. He's sitting at the bar in his expensive suit, surrounded by a crowd of curious locals. Big Mike waves me over from a corner booth. He's been here for an hour, Mike reports, out drinking whiskey and running his mouth about that crazy woman and her psycho husband. What's he saying? Listen for yourself. Derek's voice carries across the room, slurred but still arrogant. The whole thing was her idea, he's telling anyone who'll listen. I just wanted to reconnect with an old flame, you know? But she had this whole elaborate plan to frame her husband. A few of the guys at the bar exchange glances. These are working men, most of them married, most of them with strong opinions about loyalty and family. She showed me pictures of their house, Derek continues. Nice place, worth maybe $400,000, plus his pension, savings account. We figured she could walk away with $600,000. Easy. That's messed up, man, says Joey Torino, a pipe fitter I've known for years. Right? But then the whole thing blew up in our faces. Someone leaked all our messages, and now my wife's filing for divorce. Derek takes another drink. Cost me my marriage, my reputation, probably half my assets. Maybe you shouldn't have been planning to frame an innocent man, suggests Rita, the bartender. Derek waves dismissively. Tom Rourke, please. Guy's a nobody. Just some electrician who got lucky marrying up. The bar goes quiet. Every person in Murphy's knows me, knows my reputation, knows I'm anything but a nobody. Big Mike stands up slowly. Hey, Derek. Derek turns around, squinting through his whiskey haze. Yeah? That nobody electrician you're talking about? He just walked in? Derek's face goes white as he spots me standing in the doorway. The entire bar turns to watch, sensing drama. I walk over slowly, my work boots loud on the wooden floor. Derek tries to stand, but he's too intoxicated and nearly falls off his stool. Tommy, he says with fake enthusiasm. Great to see you, buddy. Is it? Listen, about Melody. That whole thing got way out of hand. You never meant to get caught. Derek glances around nervously, suddenly aware that he's surrounded by my friends and coworkers. Look, maybe we should talk about this somewhere private. No, I say firmly. I think everyone should hear this. Tell them about your plan, Derek. Tell them how you were going to frame me for domestic violence. Melody was the one who... Tell them about the fake bruises, the lawyer friends, the $600,000 you were going to steal from my family. Derek's mouth opens and closes like a fish out of water. The bar is completely silent except for the hum of the beer coolers. It wasn't supposed to go that far. But it did go that far, I continue. You spent 6 months planning to destroy an innocent man's life. You convinced my wife to betray everything we built together. You were going to let me go to jail for something I never did. Tommy, please? And the worst part? You thought I was too stupid to figure it out. I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone, scrolling to the voice recording app. Derek's confession from 5 minutes ago is saved in perfect digital clarity. Fortunately for me, I say, holding up the phone, you're not as smart as you think you are. Derek's face goes from white to gray. You recorded me? Public place, Derek. Perfectly legal. I hit play, and Derek's voice fills the bar. The whole thing was her idea. Elaborate plan to frame her husband. 600,000, easy. When the recording ends, the silence is deafening. Then Joey Torino speaks up. You piece of garbage. Now hold on. Derek starts, but he's cut off by a chorus of angry voices. Get out of here. Before we call the cops. Scumbag. Derek stumbles toward the exit, but I step in front of him. One more thing, I say quietly, so only he can hear. If you ever contact my wife again, if you ever come back to Cleveland, if you ever even think about my family, I will make sure everyone you know gets a copy of that recording. Your business partners, your clients, your country club friends, everyone. Derek nods frantically. I'm leaving town tonight, I swear. Good choice. He pushes past me and stumbles out into the parking lot. Through the window, I watch him fumble with his car keys before apparently deciding he's too intoxicated to drive. He pulls out his phone, probably calling for a ride. The bar erupts in cheers and applause. Someone buys me a beer, then someone else, then someone else. For the next hour, I'm surrounded by friends and neighbors who want to shake my hand, pat my back, and tell me what a piece of work Derek Shaw is. But underneath the celebration, I'm thinking about Melody, sitting alone in our house, probably wondering what comes next. Because this isn't over, not by a long shot. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This is Simone Shaw, Derek's wife. We need to talk. I step outside to call her back. Mrs. Shaw? Tom, thank you for taking my call. I saw the social media posts about my husband and your wife. I'm sorry you had to find out that way. Don't be. I've suspected Derek was cheating for months. But what I learned today, the plan to frame you, that's something else entirely. What can I do for you? I'm filing for divorce on Monday. My lawyer says Derek's confession about the fraud conspiracy will help my case significantly. Would you be willing to share that recording? Absolutely. There's something else. Derek's been bragging about this scheme to his business partners. I have emails, text messages, even a recorded phone call where he talks about teaching small-town losers a lesson. My grip tightens on the phone. What are you saying? I'm saying Derek Shaw has done this before. You and Melody weren't his first targets. The pieces click into place. Derek didn't just happen to reconnect with Melody. He sought her out, identified her as a mark, and manipulated her into betraying her own family. Mrs. Shaw, would you be willing to testify to that? Mr. Rourke, I'd be delighted to. When I get home, Melody is exactly where I left her, sitting on the couch staring at her hands. She looks up when I walk in. How did it go? Derek's leaving town tonight. His wife is divorcing him, and I have enough evidence to send both of you to prison if I wanted to. She starts crying again. What happens now? I sit down across from her, studying her face one more time. 20 years of marriage, and it's come to this. Now, I say, you get exactly what you asked for. What do you mean? You wanted out of this marriage, Mel. Congratulations, you're out. But Tommy, the divorce papers will be filed Monday morning. You can keep whatever's left of your reputation and your career. Everything else stays with me. You can't do that. Actually, I can. See, when one spouse commits fraud and conspiracy against the other, the innocent party gets to keep the assets. It's called the clean hands doctrine. Her face goes pale. I'll fight it. With what lawyer? You're unemployed, remember? And broke. Derek's not going to help you. He's got his own legal problems now. This isn't over, Tommy. I stand up and walk toward the stairs. Yeah, Mel, it is. But as I climb the steps to what used to be our bedroom, I know she's wrong about one thing. This isn't over. It's just getting started. Saturday morning, I wake up alone in my own bed for the first time in 20 years. The silence feels strange. No shower running, no hair dryer, no morning routine that's been the same since our kids were toddlers. Just me, a cup of coffee, and the wreckage of my marriage. Melody slept in the guest room. I can hear her moving around downstairs, probably trying to figure out her next move. The woman who thought she was so clever, so much smarter than her clueless electrician husband, is about to learn what happens when you underestimate someone. My phone has been buzzing all morning with notifications. The Facebook post about Melody's affair has now been shared over 5,000 times. Someone created a hashtag, Walsh Clueless Electrician. The comments range from supportive to savage. Tom Rourke wired my house last year. Stand-up guy who deserves better. Melody thought she was trading up, but she was trading down. Derek Shaw looks like he sells timeshares to retirees. Plot twist. The clueless husband was playing chess while they were playing checkers. But the social media humiliation is just the appetizer. The main course requires more careful preparation. I call Angela Martinez, Mike's ex-sister-in-law and my new social media consultant. "Tom, you're famous," she says. "My phone's been ringing all morning with reporters wanting to interview you." Reporters? Channel 8 wants to do a story about marriage fraud. The plain dealer is calling it The Revenge of the Clueless Husband. You're trending on Twitter. I don't want to talk to reporters. Smart. Let the story tell itself. But I do have some ideas for Phase 2, if you're interested. I'm listening. Melody's trying to control the narrative. She posted on her Facebook this morning, claiming she's the victim of a vindictive ex and asking for privacy during this difficult time. I pull up Melody's Facebook page. Sure enough, there's a long post about how she's been manipulated and exploited by someone from her past, and how she's seeking counseling to repair the damage to her family. No mention of the 6-month conspiracy, no acknowledgement of the plan to frame me. Just Melody playing the victim, same as always. What do you suggest? I ask Angela. Derek's wife Simone has been busy. She's got documentation of at least 3 other cases where Derek pulled this same scam. We could create a timeline, show the pattern. Legal. Completely. Public records, court filings, social media posts, all above board. Do it. Within 2 hours, Angela has created a comprehensive expose of Derek Shaw's history of targeting married women for financial fraud schemes. The evidence is damning. Divorce records showing his previous wives lost everything, testimonials from other victims, even a news article from Phoenix about a woman who almost went to prison because of Derek's manipulation. The post goes viral immediately. Derek Shaw isn't just a homewrecker. He's a serial predator who targets vulnerable marriages for financial gain. So my phone rings. It's Melody. "Tommy, you have to stop this." "Stop what?" "The social media campaign. It's destroying both of us." "No, Mel. It's destroying you. I'm just the guy who figured out your game." People are calling my parents. My sister won't return my calls. I can't even go to the grocery store without people staring. Sounds familiar? Isn't that what you wanted for me? Public humiliation, destroyed reputation, everyone thinking I'm a violent criminal. That was different. How was it different? Silence on the other end. "I know about the other women, Mel. Derek's done this before. You weren't special. You were just another mark." "That's not true." "Simone Shaw has the receipts. Derek bragged about you to his business partners, called you another desperate housewife looking for excitement, said you were the easiest target he'd ever found." I can hear her crying through the phone. "I never meant for it to go this far," she whispers. "But it did go this far, and now you get to live with the consequences. What do you want from me, Tommy? What will it take for you to stop?" I consider this question. What do I want? Justice? Revenge? Or something else entirely? "I want you to tell the truth," I say finally. "What truth?" "All of it. The conspiracy, the fake domestic violence plan, the other women Derek targeted. I want you to go on record, publicly, and tell everyone exactly what you did." "I can't do that. It would destroy what's left of my life." "Your life was destroyed the moment you decided to betray your family. This is just making it official." "And if I don't?" "Then I keep releasing evidence. Derek's confession recording goes to every news outlet in Cleveland. The emails between you two get posted online. The photos he sent you get shared with your parents, your sister, your former coworkers." "You wouldn't." "Try me." She hangs up. An hour later, she calls back. "I'll do it, but I want something in return." "You're not in a position to negotiate, Mel." "I want the house." I laugh out loud. "The house? The one you were planning to steal from me through fraud?" "It's my home, too." "Not anymore. You forfeited your claim when you committed conspiracy to commit fraud. I'll fight you in court." "With what money? And what lawyer is going to take your case when there's a recording of you admitting to planning fake domestic violence charges?" Another long silence. "I hate you," she says finally. "No, you don't. You hate yourself. You hate that you got caught. You hate that the clueless electrician was smarter than you thought. What happens after I make the statement? You disappear. You leave Cleveland, you start over somewhere else, and you never contact me or our kids again. The kids will be told the truth, all of it. They're adults, Mel. They can handle it. They'll never forgive me. That's not my problem anymore." Sunday afternoon, Melody posts a video on her Facebook page. She's sitting in our living room, soon to be just my living room, looking tired and defeated. The confident HR director who thought she could manipulate everyone around her is gone, replaced by someone who finally understands the consequences of her actions. I need to tell you all the truth, she begins, her voice shaky. About Derek Shaw, about our relationship, and about what we plan to do to my husband. For 15 minutes, she lays out the entire conspiracy. The 6-month planning process, the fake domestic violence scheme, the plan to steal my assets, Derek's history of targeting other women. She even admits to mocking me behind my back, calling me clueless and predictable. Tom never laid a hand on me, she says directly to the camera. He never raised his voice, never threatened me, never did anything except work hard to provide for our family. I betrayed the best man I've ever known because I was selfish and stupid and thought I deserved something better. The video ends with her apologizing to me, to our children, and to Derek's other victims. Within an hour, it has 10,000 views. Within 6 hours, 50,000. The comments are brutal, but justified. Too little, too late. At least she finally told the truth. Tom Rourke deserves a medal for putting up with her for 20 years. Derek Shaw should be in prison. This woman destroyed her own family for money. Disgusting. My phone rings constantly. Reporters, lawyers, even a producer from a true crime podcast. I ignore them all. The story is out there now, documented and undeniable. My reputation is not only restored, but enhanced. I'm no longer the clueless husband. I'm the guy who outsmarted 2 scheming fraudsters and exposed their criminal conspiracy. But the best call comes from my daughter Sarah, home from college for the weekend. Dad, I just saw Mom's video. I'm sorry you had to find out this way, sweetheart. Are you kidding? Dad, you're a legend. Mom actually thought she could outsmart you? Apparently. I always knew you were the smart one in the family. Mom's good at office politics and social stuff, but you're the one who taught us how to think logically, how to solve problems. Thanks, honey. Is it true she was going to frame you for domestic violence? Yeah. Jesus, Dad, I'm so sorry. Not your fault. What happens now? Now I start over. At 42, I'm single again, but I've got my house, my job, my reputation, and my kids. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse. You could be married to someone who thinks electricians are stupid. I laugh. That's the thing about electricity, Sarah. It's invisible until you flip the switch, then it lights up everything. Including lying, cheating wives and their scammer boyfriends. Especially them. Monday morning, Melody packs her things and moves out. She doesn't say goodbye, doesn't leave a note, just takes her clothes and personal items and disappears. I hear through mutual friends that she's moved back in with her parents in Akron. Derek Shaw, meanwhile, has fled to parts unknown. His wife's divorce filing includes charges of fraud, conspiracy, and emotional distress. His business partners have distanced themselves from him. His social media accounts have been deleted. The house feels different without Melody's presence. Quieter, but also cleaner somehow. Like the air itself is less toxic. I'm sitting in my workshop, organizing tools and planning my next project, when my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. This isn't over, Tom. You ruined my life. I'll ruin yours. Derek Shaw, apparently, doesn't know when to quit. I screenshot the message and forward it to Simone Shaw's lawyer, along with a note. Exhibit A for the restraining order. Then I text back, looking forward to it. Because Derek Shaw is about to learn the same lesson his ex-girlfriend learned. You don't threaten an electrician unless you want to get shocked. Derek Shaw makes his move on a Tuesday morning, exactly 1 week after Melody's confession video went viral. I'm rewiring a commercial kitchen downtown when Big Mike calls with the news. Your boy Derek's back in town, Mike reports. Rico saw him at the Marriott this morning, checking in under a fake name. But get this, he's not alone. Who's with him? Some lawyer type from out of state. Expensive suit, briefcase, the whole 9 yards. Rico thinks they're planning something. I set down my wire strippers and consider this development. Derek's broke, his reputation is destroyed, and he's facing multiple lawsuits. What could he possibly hope to accomplish by coming back to Cleveland? Keep an eye on them, I tell Mike, and let me know if they make any moves. The answer comes 3 hours later. I'm finishing up the kitchen job when my phone explodes with notifications. Someone has posted a video on YouTube titled The Real Truth About Tom Rourke. The video features Derek Shaw, looking haggard but determined, sitting in what appears to be a hotel room. Next to him is a man in an expensive suit who introduces himself as legal counsel. I'm here to set the record straight about what really happened between Melody Rourke and myself. Derek begins. Tom Rourke has been conducting a vicious campaign of harassment and defamation against me. using doctored evidence and manufactured screenshots. My jaw clenches as I watch Derek spin his lies with practiced ease. The truth is, Melody came to me for help. She was trapped in an abusive marriage with a controlling, violent man who monitored her every move. She was afraid to leave because Tom had threatened to hurt her if she ever tried to divorce him. The lawyer nods sympathetically. We have documentation of Mr. Rourke's pattern of psychological abuse, including testimony from witnesses who observed his threatening behavior. What witnesses? I mutter, but Derek's not finished. The so-called confession Melody made was coerced. Tom forced her to make that video by threatening to release intimate photos of her. She was terrified, saying whatever he wanted to hear just to make him stop. It's a masterful performance, I have to admit. Derek comes across as the concerned friend trying to help a battered woman escape her abuser. The lawyer provides just enough legal jargon to make it sound credible. We're prepared to file charges against Mr. Rourke for harassment, defamation, extortion, and domestic intimidation. The lawyer announces, "Justice will be served." The video ends with Derek looking directly into the camera. Tom, if you're watching this, you know what you did. The truth always comes out. Within an hour, the video has thousands of views. The comments section is split between people who believe Derek's story and others who remember Melody's confession. A few local news outlets pick up the story, framing it as a he said, she said situation. My phone starts ringing. Reporters wanting my response, friends asking if the allegations are true, even a few neighbors expressing concern. The carefully constructed narrative I'd built is suddenly under attack. But Derek Shaw made one crucial mistake. He underestimated me again. I call Angela Martinez. Did you see Derek's video? She asks immediately. I saw it. How bad is the damage? It's getting traction, but it's not sticking yet. People remember Melody's confession too clearly. Still, if he keeps pushing this narrative, he won't get the chance. I need you to organize something for me. What kind of something? A block party. This Saturday, my neighborhood. Make it a big event. Food trucks, live music, the works. Tom, what are you planning? Derek wants to play the victim? Fine, let's give him an audience. I spend the rest of the week preparing. Angela handles the social media promotion, framing it as a community support event for a local family going through a difficult time. She's careful not to mention names, but everyone knows what it's really about. Rico keeps me updated on Derek's movements. He's been meeting with his lawyer daily, apparently building some kind of case. They've also been interviewing people around town, looking for anyone willing to say something negative about me. They talked to your ex-foreman, Jerry Kowalski, Rico reports, the one who got fired for showing up to work intoxicated. What did Jerry tell them? That you have anger management issues and once threatened to wire him into the electrical panel during an argument. I laugh despite myself. Jerry Kowalski is a bitter alcoholic who's been blacklisted from every union job in Cleveland. If he's Derek's star witness, their case is weaker than I thought. Friday evening, I'm setting up tables in my backyard when Melody's car pulls into the driveway. I haven't seen her since she moved out, and she looks terrible, thin, pale, with dark circles under her eyes. Tommy, we need to talk, she says, approaching cautiously. About what? Derek called me. He wants me to recant my confession, say you forced me to make it. And? I told him no. What I said in that video was the truth, and I'm not taking it back. I study her face, looking for signs of deception. Why? Because I've lost everything already. My job, my friends, my family's respect. The only thing I have left is the truth. Derek's not going to like that answer. I know. That's why I'm warning you. He's desperate, Tommy. Desperate people do dangerous things. Let me worry about Derek. She nods and starts to leave, then turns back. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. About all of it. You deserved better. Yeah, I agree. I did. Saturday morning dawns clear and cold, perfect weather for a neighborhood gathering. Angela has outdone herself. There are food trucks lining the street, a local band setting up on my front lawn, and families arriving with folding chairs and blankets. By noon, there are over 200 people in and around my property. Neighbors I've known for years, co-workers from the union, even some folks I don't recognize who just came for the free food and entertainment. The atmosphere is festive, almost carnival-like. Kids are running around with balloons, adults are sharing stories and laughter, and the band is playing classic rock covers that have everyone singing along. That's when Derek Shaw arrives. He pulls up in a rented sedan with his lawyer and what appears to be a film crew. They park across the street and start unloading equipment, cameras, microphones, lighting gear. Showtime, I mutter to Mike, who's manning the beer station. Derek approaches my front yard with his entourage, looking like a politician arriving at a campaign event. He's dressed in casual clothes, jeans and a polo shirt, trying to look approachable and sympathetic. Tom, he calls out, loud enough for everyone to hear. "We need to talk." The party gradually quiets as people notice the confrontation brewing. Derek's camera crew positions themselves strategically, capturing every angle. "About what, Derek?" I reply, walking to the edge of my property. "About ending this harassment campaign. About letting Melody live her life in peace. About taking responsibility for your actions." Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Some people pull out their phones, sensing drama. Derek's lawyer steps forward. "Mr. Rourke, my client is prepared to offer you a settlement. Drop the defamation campaign, stop posting private information online, and we'll forget about the criminal charges." "What criminal charges?" I ask innocently. "Domestic intimidation, harassment, extortion." "Based on what evidence?" The lawyer produces a folder. "Witness testimony, documented threats, proof of your systematic campaign to destroy my client's reputation and livelihood." I take the folder and flip through it. Jerry Kowalski's statement about my anger issues. A few anonymous complaints about my threatening behavior. Screenshots of social media posts that could be interpreted as harassment. It's a weak case, but it might be enough to cause me legal headaches and expensive lawyer fees. "Interesting," I say, handing the folder back. "But I think there's something you should see first." I pull out my phone and connect it to the portable speaker system Angela set up for the band. Derek's voice fills the air, clear and unmistakable. The whole thing was her idea. I just wanted to reconnect with an old flame, you know, but she had this whole elaborate plan to frame her husband. The crowd goes silent as Derek's confession from Murphy's Bar plays in its entirety. His admission about the domestic violence setup, the financial fraud scheme, his history of targeting vulnerable women. Derek's face goes white. "That recording is illegal. Public place, Derek, perfectly legal." But I'm not finished. I switch to a different audio file, Derek's phone conversation with one of his business partners, recorded by Simone Shaw during their divorce proceedings. "These small-town idiots are so easy to manipulate," Derek's voice continues. "Find a bored housewife, promise her excitement, and she'll do anything. Melody's the easiest mark I've ever worked." The crowd's mood shifts dramatically. Angry murmurs replace the previous silence. Someone shouts, "Get out of here." Another voice adds, "Scumbag." Derek tries to salvage the situation. "Those recordings are taken out of context." "What context makes fraud okay?" calls out Mrs. Henderson from next door. "You tried to frame an innocent man," adds Joey Torino from the union. Derek's lawyer whispers urgently in his ear, probably advising retreat, but Derek's pride won't let him back down. "You people don't understand," he says desperately. "Tom Rourke is not the victim here. He's a manipulative, controlling abuser who what?" I interrupt. "Who worked 2 jobs to put his kids through college? Who spent 20 years being faithful to a woman who was planning to destroy him? Who never raised his voice, never raised his hand, never did anything except trust the wrong person?" The crowd erupts in applause and cheers. Derek looks around desperately, realizing he's completely outnumbered. "This is harassment," his lawyer shouts. "We're calling the police." "Good idea," I reply. "Officer Martinez is right over there." I point to Rico's cousin, a Cleveland PD patrol officer who's been enjoying the party with his family. Officer Martinez approaches with a bemused expression. "Everything okay here, Tom?" "These gentlemen were just leaving," I say. "But first, I think you should hear this." I play Derek's recorded threat from the previous week. "This isn't over, Tom. You ruined my life. I'll ruin yours." "That sounds like criminal menacing to me," Officer Martinez observes. "Mr. Shaw, I'm going to need to see some identification." Derek's lawyer grabs his client's arm. "We're leaving, now." As they retreat to their car, the crowd begins chanting, "Derek sucks! Derek sucks!" Someone throws a water balloon that splashes harmlessly against the rental car's windshield. Kids are laughing, adults are cheering, and Derek Shaw is fleeing Cleveland for the 2nd time in 2 weeks. But the best moment comes when Derek rolls down his window for one last parting shot. "This isn't over, Rourke," he screams. I walk over to the car, lean down to his window level, and smile. "Yeah, Derek, it is." The car speeds away, leaving behind only the smell of burning rubber and the sound of 200 people celebrating the defeat of a con artist. As the sun sets on my block party, I stand in my backyard surrounded by friends, neighbors, and coworkers who've rallied to support me. The band is playing Don't Stop Believin', and everyone's singing along. My phone buzzes with a text from my daughter Sarah. "Dad, the video of Derek getting owned is already going viral. You're trending again. Sucker, clueless electrician is now a badge of honor." I look around at the celebration, at the community that's embraced me, at the life I've built through honest work and genuine relationships. Derek Shaw thought he could destroy me by targeting my marriage. Instead, he helped me discover who my real friends are and showed me that sometimes the best revenge is simply living well. The clueless electrician turned out to be the smartest guy in the room, after all. And that's exactly how this story ends. Not with violence or vengeance, but with a community coming together to support one of their own against a predator who thought he could manipulate small-town values for personal gain. Derek Shaw learned the hard way that some circuits shouldn't be crossed.